That's right, Ice Man. I am dangerous. Hi, I'm Graham Wilson, and welcome to the superpilotish channel. And I'll be talking to you today about the 5 hazardous attitudes in aviation or any other industry that involves a bit of risk in my basement. All right. So, I was the other day, I thought it would be so slick. I'd be like, I was studying for these 5 hazardous attitudes for, you run across them on all these aviation tests throughout your career. You end up teaching it to people. And I never really came up with a good acronym for it until just today. And I thought, oh, I'm such a genius, right? And then, of course, what happens every time that you think that you're a genius? You put it into Google and someone else thought of it. So, but that's okay. Better late than never for learning this stuff. Okay. Another thing, too, this is probably going to be, oh, yeah, explanation of this. I tried to draw like a crashed airplane and some guy scratching his head. I don't know. This is some leftover cardboard. No whiteboard around here. We just got the cardboard. Okay, so I'm going to get right to it. My fancy acronym here for the 5 hazardous attitudes. Okay, let's do 5 hazardous attitudes. Okay, so 5 hazardous attitudes. I might need a new marker here pretty soon. So let's do it this way. Oh, this looks better. Okay, so you might have heard of the I'm safe checklist, but this one here is I'm air. Okay, so that's my little acronym for the 5 things. And now, if you want to remember this is like it should work out pretty well. I always get a few of these mixed up, and I got to study extra hard to remember them. And then you write the test and you forget, but you generally know what it is. That's the one thing about aviation is that you're required to memorize all kinds of stuff. Makes it different than some different types of learning, where you can kind of get a concept and go from there, but there's no ins and outs around it. You have to know ifs, ands, or buts, whatever cliche you want. You're going to have to memorize stuff. So here's the 5 hazardous attitudes. Now, look at that. We got I am. Look at that. Isn't that weird? If you wrote that down, you would probably remember that, right? Because it's like this. We got impulsivity. And I'm just going to go through it, and then I'll explain each one. So we got impulsivity, macho, the macho man Randy Savage. Okay. This is now, I had this left over from, there's a little thing over here. You can kind of see it. Let's consider that there's a little ant that's going to be crawling out here. He's got his little antennas here. It's got a couple feet. The other feet are right behind. There we go. Here's the ant coming over here to the A. Oh, what's that? Anti-authority. Running out of room. Okay. So there we go. This is ways for you to remember. You had your M's up here. You got the ant crawling out here by the second word. Anti-authority. Now, what's this one in the middle? We got AIR. There's 3 letters there, right? There's one in the middle. It could be invulnerability. Okay. Invulnerability, which is in the middle here, and resignation. Okay, so now if you wanted the quick and dirty way of getting the I'm air 5 hazardous attitudes, there it is. Write it down 100 times. You'll never forget it. Remember, you got your I am. In is in the middle. There's an ant crawling out of here. There we go. That's that little bit there was just a coincidence because I cut my cardboard from a different show. Okay, I'm just going to go through and explain every one of these now. Okay, impulsivity right there. That's you know what it's like to be impulsive. You kind of act before you're thinking. And the thing in aviation is that there's never really anything that happens immediately. That you got to have lightning reflexes to think of something really quick and act really quick. Usually, it doesn't happen that way in aviation. There's the odd time where a little bit of reflex here and there would be okay, but this is kind of more about your attitude, is that you're impulsive about something. So you don't really have to. Um, how can I put that? Oh, I'm going to sneeze. I'm going to try this new technique of not sneezing. I'm going to pretend that I've already sneezed. I've heard this somewhere. We'll see if it works. Okay, achoo. I already sneezed. Hey, kind of works. Anyways, that's the first time I've ever had that happen successfully. Okay, yeah, how to stop a sneeze. Try that. Okay, so impulsivity. Yeah, so if you want to be impulsive, you might say to yourself, maybe with your buddies, and you're like, I could show them that, or I can show them that, or I can show them that. And then you're flying around looking, oh, look at that. Let's go buzz those cows. And then it's like, you shouldn't be buzzing cows. It messes them up. It's illegal. It's, you don't want to do that. But that impulsive decision, if there's some civil aviation inspector visiting their uncle on the farm, and they see you, oh, who is that? Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Charlie. Oh, okay, let's find him. So that impulsivity can get you fined or lose your license if you're dangerous. And us pilots, we don't really talk about accidents and crashes and stuff like that too much, but pretty much all this stuff can cause crashes. So just that's the last time I'm talking about that. Okay, now this impulsivity, make sure you think about something before you do it. Macho, so that's macho, machismo. I mean, girls can be macho too. It's really what it is you want to be a show off. So you want to be maverick. Every time he goes up in the air, he's unsafe. That's right, Ice Man. I love that scene. And in Top Gun. So macho, yeah. So you want to show off. Actually, no, that would be something else. I think he was breaking rules there. That would be anti-authority. Oops. Okay, so much. Yeah, basically, don't show off. It's so they always say, "Hold my beer." Watch this. Look how close I can get to that tree. Well, that's how you damage landing gear and fairings and propeller tips. So no. So macho, don't show off. Okay, anti-authority. That means not paying attention to the rules or the authorities or whatever. And the example of that would be you're just what would you say? Oh, okay. Air traffic control told you to go over here, and it's kind of out of your way, and you want to get direct to your destination. So I'll just pretend I didn't hear him on the radio, and we'll just keep on going. He can get the other guys out of the way. Oh, I had a radio problem, I don't need your rules. I don't need your instructions. So that's anti-authority, breaking rules. The rules are there for safety. Every single one of those rules out there that's in the FARs of the cars, all these aviation rules around, usually there's an accident behind them. So usually there's an accident, then they make a rule. And so that's anti-authority. The rules are there for your safety. And invulnerability, here's our next one here, invulnerability. That's where you think it can't happen to me. I was told a great example of this once when a civil aviation inspector, who shall not be named, went up to Confederation College, which is up in Thunder Bay, Ontario. I'm in Windsor, Ontario. Nice and warm down south here. Well, this civil aviation inspector was also from around the Toronto area. And the inspector went up there, and it gets cold up north. You could be flying around. It's minus 25 Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's darn cold. And of course, the inspector shows up just wearing kind of like a spring jacket because there's there's a heater in the car, and the building's heated and stuff. And it's like, well, if you do ever have to land up north, maybe on a frozen lake, if there's an issue or something, or engine failure, you might have to be out in you might have to walk over to, I can see a light over on the other side of the lake. You might have to walk an hour in minus 30, minus 25. And a spring jacket won't cut it at that temperature. So, but the aviation inspector told me that that was a very good example of the invulnerability. My plane won't crash. Why do I need to wear a big parka? Well, yeah, you should do that. And so there we go. That's your invulnerability. Resignation. Now that's where you just kind of give up. There's like, well, nothing I can do now. Well, I even heard once somebody landed. I forget who it was. Just a story around the airport where this runway didn't look really that great, and they were coming into land, and when they got down close enough to land, they noticed that there was I forget, there was something on the runway. In any case, they really shouldn't have landed. And they said, and the one pilot says, "Well, we're committed now." It's like, you're not committed to a landing ever. That's why God invented the throttle, so you can go around. So yeah. Anyways, there is something you can do about that. There's always something you can do. You're not going to run out of options of things to do if something goes wrong or something. You can even ask for help. That's what the radio's for. I'm a new student. I have no idea what I'm doing. Then you get on the radio and say, "Hi, I'm a new student. I have no idea what I'm doing." Someone will help you out. So there we go. So those are the 5 hazardous attitudes, and how you can kind of identify them in a few examples of those. Okay, so now this is my own personal take on it, which I don't think you'll ever hear from anyone else that works in the industry. But I'm kind of semi-retired right now, so I can say whatever I want. So, anyways, okay, so all of these 5 hazardous attitudes are actually necessary in my mind. Like, you have to have those to be a good pilot. And you might say, "Whoa, what are you talking about? That's heresy." Well, it's like to be a good pilot, you need all of these things, but at certain times, and they have to be very moderated. So, for an example, impulsivity. I guess you could say you have to be able to think somewhat quickly, but you can't be a very slow thinker. You can't take forever. You take forever to figure something out. You run out of gas. So you do have to have just a little bit of impulsivity of okay, let's get this done. Let's do this. But if it's too much, now you're getting dangerous. So that's the thing there. And macho, you need that. You got to be a macho pilot, man. That's just the way it is. Like, half of being a pilot's being cool, right? Well, not necessarily. But that cool factor, or that macho, hey, look at me. It's one of those things that helps motivate you when you're learning. And if you I'm doing this, and that is a motivating factor in you getting your license, is that you can say, "Yeah, I'm a pilot," and some people go, "Ah, that's pretty cool." Other people will be like, "Oh, so you're broke." anyways, anyways. Yeah, so it's a motivational thing, but you can't, like I said, you can't go overboard with it. Okay, anti-authority. There's sometimes where you absolutely must break the rules, believe it or not. So here we go. Here's an example of let's just say you were cleared to land, and this has happened to quite a few pilots. Happened to me a few times, where okay, you're coming into land, and you've been cleared to land. And the controller is expecting you to land, and then this other guy starts taxiing out on the runway, and then, well, I was cleared to land. I'm right. I could land past this guy and still be safe, but what the proper thing to do there is to go around and say unable to land. Well, first you would do the overshoot, right? They always do that. Aviate, navigate, communicate, that stuff. So you give her the power. Someone's on the runway or not clear of the runway. Okay, overshoot. But you've been cleared to land. He's expecting you to land. They don't order you to land. There might be something else where they say, okay, turn right to a heading of, I don't know, let's pick a heading, right to a heading of 270. And you look over and there's an airplane there. And it's like, okay, given a, uh, I was given a direction, okay, right to a heading of 270. And I look over and there's a plane there. Maybe the controller doesn't see there's a plane there with no transponder, and maybe you're flying IFR and it's not showing up on any radar, but you can see it. So at that point, you'd have to do what you were told to do something, and you're going to be against the authority here and say, unable, unable due to traffic. So, but if you do exactly what you're told all the time, well, he told me to crash into the plane, that doesn't work. So you have to have that little sense of anti-authority there too. In vulnerability, if you think in vulnerability, okay, like, oh, it'll never happen to me. Well, the thing is, it will happen to you, or there's a possibility that it will happen to you. You can't think that it'll never happen, but you have to kind of compartmentalize that and be able to put it away. Okay, I'm anything with risk, I'm minimizing the risk here. So there's going to be risk in life. Anything you do, driving your car, operating a crane. So whatever, flying an airplane, and then so you're in vulnerability. Okay, so that would mean you can't just dwell on, oh, it's definitely going to happen to me. You kind of have to say, it's not going to happen to me because of this and this and decisions that I've made. And that gets to me to the point of resignation, where you could do, okay, I guess resignation, you need a little bit of that to be like, that's the way it is. You'll be a total stress ball if you're worried about everything all the time. Some things are out of your control, and you have to recognize that and prioritize what's out of your control. Don't worry about it. Deal with it, but don't worry about it. And so you need a little bit of resignation, but you can't just give up on stuff. So so that's where you'll hear, these 5 hazardous attitudes, and then everybody, like, I got the idea from that is when they were teaching this to me, like at school when I went to college to learn, and all the kids in the class are there, like, are all the whatever, they're probably 19, 20, something like that, and they're going, oh, these are the 5 hazardous attitudes, and all the guys are looking at each other and the girls and stuff, and they're like, that just describes all of us. It's like, yeah, but you got to have the hazardous attitudes, minimize them, and keep them under control. Don't let anything go. Well, it's like with anything in life, balance is a key to life, yin and yang. There you go. So there we go. 5 hazardous attitudes. Now let's show this to you again. So we got our, you know what? I think I might write that down one more time just so I can remember it. Now, how did I do that? What's that guy there? Let's fold that over. So I'm just gonna repeat this here too, so you know how to get started. So it's the I'm air. I am the air, man. I'm one with the air. Okay, so you got your I'm air. Okay, and then we got, looks like that to start off. And we got our little ant coming out of the side. Okay, there's his body and his head. Little ant. Don't forget the antennas. This is an important way to remember. And you got your little legs. Ants have 6. This guy's got 4, but the other 2 are hidden. Okay, now this is how you start to remember it. Boom. Write that down. Write it down 10 times. Repeat it every couple days. And then you can go from there. So this impulsivity. M, macho. What's this other A? Anti-authority. This other I forget now. I's right in the middle here, in between. It's in vulnerability and resignation. So our resignation. What's the last thing you do when you leave your job? You resign. So there we go. or you get canned, whatever, but sacked. Okay, so there we go. Do that, and you'll remember that. There's your little tip. Yeah, I googled that. I saw one hit for that on Google. So hopefully I can popularize that, and everyone will be well aware of their hazardous attitudes. Keep them in check, and there we go. Okay. All right. No one in the chat today. No big deal. And I'll just, what do we got here? Oh, 20 minutes. Okay, let's shut her down. All right, here we go. Thanks for watching. Well, yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon. Thanks for watching. Bye.